All right, so this is what we're going to be building today. Um, Obviously, it's already complete, so you get to see this, and then you get to watch me build it. So the build is an i7 8700K, 32 gigs of RAM. It's got a Gigabyte GTX 1080. I think it's a minor overclocked version. I don't know exactly, but it's a fairly mid-level GTX 1080. 500 gig NVMe drive, 32 gigs of RAM. It does have liquid cooler. We got a Corsair AIO. This particular build has I did it in a brand new, kind of middle of the road case. I'm going to talk about it a little bit during the build. My opinion on this case is that it's fine. I wouldn't seek it out as a buyer. I think there are especially better used options. Very rarely, as somebody who advocates for budget builds, very, very rarely are you going to have a situation where I'm going to tell you should buy a new case over used. About the only time that I would tell you to buy a new case is if, one, you've got a ton of money to spend and you want a specific case, or two, you don't want to deal with an hour of clean out on a case. Otherwise, I would always go used. There's just, you just get so much more case. But that being said, this case is fine. It looks nice. Trying to think if there's anything else of note. Asus tough gaming motherboard, decent motherboard, not particularly high end, but it's a decent board. It is worth mentioning, so you're probably not going to see me doing builds in this price range sub 8th gen. I'm probably going to have to raise the price, well, no, like 480 to 550. It'll depend on the specific set of parts. But this one I might go more like 500. I would do like 450, 475, but I did have to pay a good bit for the case, so... But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy watching the build, and this was actually a new case. I've never touched or seen this case before, so I had to kind of learn as I went. It wasn't hard to build in. There were a few things that were just odd, but I figured it out, and you guys are going to watch me figure it out. So stay tuned in just a moment, and again, enjoy the build. It's been a little while since I did a build. Well, a week. That's a while for me. So I have made some changes to my camera and light setup that will, see how we have better, you don't have that harsh light anymore. I made some changes to the camera and lighting rig so that I can do a little bit higher quality. So we are starting with our IO shield. So this case is a case that came with all these fans and everything pre-assembled. These fans are a positive and a negative. So it's more fancy looking than we normally would have for something like this. However, the downside is that these fans are actually permanently on the rainbow setting, which I find that normally if I give buyers a machine on that setting and I forget to give them the remote for the fans, I find most people seem to be okay with it. So I think most people, especially when they see my builds on the whatchamajigger, the rainbow mode on the fan, I think that's what they want. So it's not that big of a deal. But the thing with this case is that with how cheap it is, I think, I'm trying to remember. I think I paid like $80 shipped. Trying to find my screwdriver. Yeah, I think I paid around $80 shipped for the whole, for the case with the fans. I'll probably put details about the case in the description. I probably would recommend against buying, because you can buy it with, or, well, that was the thing. It was so cheap. I think the fans were an extra, like, I don't know, $25 or something. I guess it really depends on the look you're after. If you're after, you just want kind of a cool looking setup, I mean, these are going to look pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. They're going to look pretty cool. It's just if you want that like full RGB configurability, they're not quite that. But if all you want is kind of the cool rainbow look, then these got you covered. And this is the aquarium style case, and we are not going to have to do much cable management on this one. It's funny because the only reason I'm even doing this build is because the market is begging for it. I've had so many people that have messaged me for a computer in the last couple of days, and this was the next build on the list. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. Yeah, this was the next build on the list, and I've been busy. The whole setup with my lighting has taken a couple of days to get configured. That's still not quite perfect yet, but it'll do for now. Probably the next build after this actually is going to be another. So let's go up there. Yeah, probably another giveaway build. I got. How are we looking? Can't quite tell. That does look a little dim. I don't know. Let's see. I guess it's not. No, it's not that bad. It's hard because I can either flood the area with light. Let's try this. Is that? Better? Yeah, that's a little better. It's not quite perfect, but I think to do it, I think to get it perfect on the lighting, I think I'm going to have lighting from multiple angles. I think I need multiple angles. Uh-oh. Oh, that could be a problem. Okay, well, that's a good thing that'll come out, because that was going to be a problem. That would be, well, maybe not. No, I'm pretty sure that this would be a problem if it didn't come out. At the very least, I think I have to take it out, put the power supply in, and then okay, let's see here. Kind of interesting because it's a fairly normal sized. What's going on here? It's not a particularly large power supply, so I'm not sure. not sure what the gig is with that, because it's a fairly, it's not an oversized power supply. It's not a mini, but it's not oversized. And this is actually a really big case. I'm actually still not completely certain how I feel about this style. I don't know, that the big, it's like it's the same bulk as a normal ATX case, but with the bulk in a different like orientation. So I'm trying to figure out if I like having it that way. So we're just putting the power supply in. So I think I'm going to move towards only using Windows 11 natively compatible hardware for anything that's not explicitly advertised. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, now it's doable. Yeah, anything that's not explicitly advertised as ultra budget. I think I need to put the AI, well, I don't know. I've never actually done one of these before, so I'm thinking, I wonder if I want to put the AO there or there. Let's see here. Looks like it has Corsair fans on it already. Let's see. What do we want to do? That's kind of a cool, well, no, because you want to see, yeah, you want to see the fans. And I don't want a hump right there. So I think we're going to have to make that happen. I think I'm going to have to do a top mounted setup. So let's do that. I'm thinking, well, I'm thinking those two. Yeah, so I had a customer contact me the other day on a build that I had sold him and said, hey, this is having issues running Valorant. I don't know for certain if he would have been able to make it work had he put more effort in. I don't know if there was a BIOS enableable TPM or something like that he could have used. But at first glance, it appeared that he was unable to run Valorant. And I can't have what is more or less a premium product that can't run what are effectively current gen games. Okay, so I think does this even work? That'll and that'll keep. So that's not going to be able to work though. No. Let's see. This is a weird case design. It's like there's a ton of space, but then there's really not very much space. It's kind of a weird layout. So I think this top fan may get pulled. I'm kind of almost leaning towards sticking it in the bottom because it is configured for bottom fans. Okay. We'll figure out what to do with you later. In spite of all this extra stuff, I'm thinking that this is still going to be a fairly short build. Well, 2 more good Corsair non-RGB fans if I end up needing them. It's always good to have. Okay, so then looks like they were nice enough to give us a lot of fan cable, which makes that easier. Oh, oopsie. Okay. I think these have some sort of infinity mirror thing going on in the center. So I have tried a bunch of these budget new cases with this modern look to them, and I'll be totally honest, I don't really like them. I've tried a bunch of different models now, and to be totally honest, I usually end up disliking them enough that I end up pricing the system as though the case were free, even though I use a brand new case. Like, I really have not found one that I like. So honestly, I really prefer I really prefer the older box style cases. Well, I mean, I guess this is a box style case, but without the aquarium style glass. I just at least for the style. Like, if you can get like a Lian Li 011 or something like that, like, that's a good case. But these ultra mega cheapos, which, keep in mind, a cheap, even like this, even like really cheaping out like this, to get it complete with fans and everything, I mean, you're looking upwards of $100. And that's in a world where you can buy something like a Corsair 570X, for example, for $50. I just am not seeing the value proposition with a case like this at $100. At least not the way I build, because the way I build, like I'm intentionally targeting former high-end parts with my builds rather than newer, modern-looking but low-end parts. And I kind of feel like my buyers know that that's what they're getting. So, gosh darn it. So I'm not really trying to appeal to the buyers that want the ultra modern look in a cheaper build. Like I just, you know, man, I should have gotten the screws a little better prepped for this one. You got to have certain sized screws to make these work right. Oh, come on. Okay. That's enough to hold it in place for now. So then is it going to do what I want? Oops. I think I want to do this. It will totally be upside down. Not what I wanted to do. Oops. Yes, okay. That'll work. Maybe? Man, some of the cheaper AIOs that I've been working with have built in little retention things that kind of hold these together, which you never get on a nicer Corsair. You don't get them. Like, it'd be cool to have that on my nicer ones. I am all in on the cheap low-end AIOs, though. So far, I've had nothing but good luck with those things. Like the Thermalright ones. Oh, man. And in some ways, they're, depending on the look that you like, in some ways, they're actually arguably better looking than something like a Corsair. Okay, so I guess maybe I should have run the cabling first. Whoopsie. Okay, you're gonna go over there. Oh, okay, cool. So I can still run. I wasn't sure there was going to be enough space, but it looks like there is. Looks like it's designed with just enough space to slip everything you want under there. Nice. Oh, yeah. Okay, I am happy. It's pretty crazy that you can get a case with this kind of cable management potential, though, at this price that looks like this now. Like, it's pretty crazy. I remember what we used to get for cases in this price range. Oh man, it was so bad before. Okay, so that's in place. I'm not gonna not cable manage it, but that being said, I'm not gonna have to cable manage this as extensively as I have with builds in the past. Okay, so let's... Did I do the wrong one? Gosh darn it, I did the wrong one. Okay. So I'll figure out what to do with the extra fan in a minute. This has kind of a fan centipede going on here. It isn't necessarily the best way to go, but it does work, so there's nothing wrong with it. So let's see here. See, I want these to... There's not really any way to make it do what I'm trying to make it do. Darn it. Let's just do this. Let's cable manage first, and then maybe if I'm lucky, there will be something to cable manage it to. Let's see. These guys are kind of starting to really annoy me. Let's just zip tie those down for now. We'll maybe come up with a better... Oh, what the heck is going on here? That wasn't supposed to go like that. We have a problem. That is not supposed to be doing that. What is going on there? This is odd. Let's see. What's going on here? For some reason... There we go. Okay. Weird. Okay, so let's get... Let's get all these fan connectors out of the way before we do anything else. It's starting to get a little bit in my way. We might leave those like that, or we might change them to something different. I'm not sure yet. Okay. Trying to slip that under there, because that actually is a good place for it if we can do it. That'll work good enough for now. And then, where is it? There or there. Let's do here. Oh yeah, okay, that works just right. Well, I guess there's at least enough space for the... Wish Corsair wouldn't do that with these big rubber attachments. Like, really? That wouldn't look good either. Might just have to leave those like that. I don't like it, but there's not really anything else to do with it. Just have to... Can I do something like that? That doesn't look good either. There's not really any way to make these look good in this setup. Okay, what do we got next? Let's see if I can zoom out a little. Can I zoom out more? Yeah, we can. Okay, cool. Let's see here. So we're gonna want that one. That's our GPU. And then pull that. And that. Oop, wrong one. I need that one. Maybe. Okay, so the fan, or the camera died on me. However, you only missed like 10 seconds, so it's fine. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out... That's interesting. HD audio and USB on one thing. I don't know why you would attach those together. And it has a bunch of... Kind of surprised. Most of these newer cases have a single thing together. I'll zip tie that for now. Probably gonna have to put a bunch in it to hold it all together. Okay, where are we? I'm trying to... Okay, bottom of the board's gonna be over here, right there. Okay. So, as usual, I have pre-tested. Oh, that's interesting. So we can run it over there. I have pre-tested the parts, so basically all we have to do is complete the build, and the build is complete. And I'm in luck because this one has all of them fully labeled. Power, reset. Let's see here. LED. Let's see. LED. Oh, interesting. I wonder if that's just on and off. You might actually be able to change color. I don't think you can, though. LED switch. So I think you have the choice of reset switch or LED switch. And then... you. And let's see. I always hate doing this. If I can get away with it, sometimes I'll just do the power plug. Okay, so that's that. I'm thinking we are going to do one of my favorite little tricks. So you bend the end of the zip tie like that. And you kind of slip it through somewhere like that. Ooh, and it worked. Coolness. And it'll be virtually invisible from both sides. You might see like a little tiny bit of it on the other side sometimes, but not really. Okay, come on. There we go. And we can actually do this again because on the fan side, the fans are not very thick. They're not deep enough to hit. And this is not stuff that you need to do on your own build if you're not into this. I am super into making my builds look absolutely perfect. Keep in mind, I'm using YouTube to do builds. Let's make sure that can spin. Yeah, I'm using YouTube to advertise my builds, so I kind of want them to look perfect, right? Like, okay. So that'll keep that all out of the way. And then, I guess I'll probably do the same thing with that. See, if they were smart, they would have put some cable management things on here, but whatever. I can work with it. This is the difference between the professionals and the amateurs. Or, as every YouTuber and their mother likes to obsess over, new builders. Something that really annoys me, actually, on, I swear, like Gamers Nexus, Steve Burke, every case review, you always hear something along the lines of, well, we'd like to see X, Y, and Z so that it would be just a little bit easier for new builders. And I'm like, not every builder is new. Some of us know what we're doing. Like, not every case has to be optimized for new builders. Like, no shade on new builders. Like, I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying not every case needs to be dumbed down for people that don't have 10, 15, 20 years of experience doing this like some of us. Like, you can build some cases that are designed for those of us who have experience. Like, it's not a bad thing to do. Every now and then. Okay. Who's next? I don't even know. I guess we're going to have to do... You're going to go there. Or actually, this is me being stupid. Okay. And then you'll go there. I'm going to guess my USB is somewhere in that vicinity. Yes, they are. Okay. You know, there was a time when I always cheaped out and I didn't actually run the USB headers. And then people would be like, why didn't my USB ports work? But in my defense, I will say this. The reason why I did it was because I found, at least on older cases, that oftentimes front-mounted USB ports didn't really work right. Like, the cases weren't really properly set up for them. Like, they didn't have, I don't know, they didn't have, like, the proper grounding or something. And so, like, I saw, like, shorts and stuff like that. And so I was like, you know, I think I'd rather just not have these. Sorry, there's some of the stuff I can't really show on camera. At least not with the way I have my camera set up now. I'd have to come up with some creativity. Okay. Man, they were doing so good. They had all of the cable management for a cheap case. They had this thing perfect. And then they screwed up on this one cable location. And I had to get creative, which I am, but still. It could have not been that way. Okay. So, come on, it's come out pretty good. And then I think our last, well, let's manage that. And then the last thing is USB-C front panel. Guess we'll go right there. Bam. Okay. Plug you in. Oh. Just realized I didn't plug in any of the... Oh, let's see here. Realized I didn't plug in any of the liquid cooler related stuff. Okay, let's do these real fast. Okay, so that's all of that. And then that's not going to get used because we didn't use... it's got the built-in fans. So the only thing we really need to do is the GPU and then see if we can figure out this whole thing with the cabling. So let's do this. Oops. Well, you know, it's not too cheap if it actually has back I/O shield pieces. Usually the cheapest cheap cases don't even have those. Okay. Actually getting pretty close to done here. I guess I was kind of a little bit more chill on this one than I have been on a lot of the builds recently. I probably could have done this faster. Most of the cases you guys see me building in, though, are cases that I've built in before. So, whereas this one, I've never actually built in this case. Heck, I think I've only ever even built like one build in one of this style of case before. Like, it's never really been my thing. I know they're kind of all the rage right now, so I might start putting them in putting a bunch of the builds in them just because people want them, but... I got to assume that my builds really just appeal to the people who like what I like. Like, for example, like some people say, oh, your parts are old. But yeah, but my parts that I use sometimes are former super high-end parts, which is how I like to do my own builds if I'm going to build something. So I assume most of my buyers are attracted to that as well. Okay. Definitely not a lot of room for cable management imperfections. That is for certain here. Like if you want one of these cases to actually look good, like the ones you see on like big YouTuber channels and stuff, like you do got to put some effort into that. Okay. So let's see. Now that we have everything in place, I just feel like there's got to be a better way to do this. But I don't think that there is. I wish these were a little bit thicker, then they'd look a little nicer here. I guess the only real option is kind of just to let them lay against the GPU back like that. Okay, so then the only thing we really have left that we need to deal with here is the question of this drive caddy. I think... Okay, yeah, so that will work fine. Dang, that thing could be easier, though. Ooh, you know what, though? Ooh, you know what? You can't, unless... Oh, wait. Can you do that? What do they have going on here? Interesting. It looks like it's supposed to go. It says SSD there. I wonder if you're just supposed to screw the SSD to it like that. That's odd. They should have made it so it went across here. That's really the way to go. Let's see here. I feel like I'm missing something like it's supposed to be, but... I guess not. So we'll just kind of stick this in. This one, I don't need, I don't need drive bays like I normally would, because I did put a 1 terabyte NVMe on this one. So it's not like the normal ones I do where I got to give a second storage drive. Actually, I don't usually put, well, no, you know what? I kind of do though, because no, this isn't a 1. This is a 500. Let's see. How do we want to do that? Like, there's got to be a way, because this is not an oversized power supply. Yeah, see, that does not line up. This would be perfect right here. I'm actually, man, I'm kind of tempted to try to force it, but I don't think I will. See, I have got to be missing something here. What is going on? Let's see. Grab my flashlight. Okay. I feel like I'm missing something. There's got to be a latch point for that in there. I've got to, let's see. What's going on here? So maybe I'm completely wrong on this, but I feel like this has got to be designed to go right here. Okay, yeah, I think it is. Maybe not. Oh, wait, there we go. Did that do it? I think that did it. Okay. But they don't really... See, it is supposed to go in that way, but they don't give enough room to do it. This maybe... Okay, so I guess you just have to brute force it. I'm not a fan, but I guess if it works, it works. Okay. So it's going to be kind of a pain in the butt, but I'm going to have to, now that I got it in place, I'm going to have to attach the drives with it in place. Definitely a ding against recommending the case. Like I said, I'm not like obsessed with new builders like some people, but dang, if you didn't like really know what you were doing, most people would be like too afraid of damaging something to do what I just did. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of the way they have that set up. It works, but okay. Let's see if I even have a drive. Yeah, maybe we'll do a 3.5 in this one. Let's see if I have a 3.5 we can, or a 2.5 I can drop in there. Let's see here. Yeah, I've got a bunch of, let's see. I've got a bunch of drives from back when I was working with laptops that I still haven't gone through yet. So I sometimes just toss those into a build like this. Okay, so put that in. I just realized how much fun it's going to be to run this, because I'm going to need another set of SATA. Let's see if I can make it. Let's see if I even, oh, okay, I think I can do it. Okay, that wasn't as bad as I was expecting. Okay, we can make that work. Now, Windows is already installed on the NVMe, so I should be able to just plug this drive in. And it just occurred to me that I never never checked the Windows activation, so I might have to buy a code for this one. For those of you who don't know, Windows, I think since Windows 7, actually, it gets tied to your motherboard. So once you've activated once, in theory, you don't have to activate again. And that means that definitely on 10 and 11, though, for certain that's the case. And that means that oftentimes you will get systems that are already activated. Like if you buy a motherboard on eBay, for example, it's pretty common to find that they've actually already been activated, which is actually really kind of nice. That just scratched the heck out of my desk. Oops. Let's see here. Okay. Come on. There you go. Okay. I don't know if that'll work or not. Get away with that? Where did I put the bottom cover for this one? The back cover. Maybe it's you? It's not that one. That one's a little too big. Let's see here. Maybe you. It must be you, because you've got, that has the... Okay, yeah, that'll work. I wasn't sure if it would or not, but it looks like it will just fine, so we're good. Okay, so we effectively have a completed build. So the only thing I wish was that we could do a little bit better with these, but it is what it is. The heck was that? Look at that. One of these days, this desk is just gonna, I'm gonna scratch it wrong. It's just gonna shatter into a million pieces. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and maybe enjoyed watching me build in a case I've never actually built in before, and kind of see me learn how to make this thing bend to my will. But thanks for watching.